Hello, can everybody hear me at that back wagon back there? Yeah, good. Over here? Good. So that's how hard it was to move. I know there's only a group of 20 steers there, but we do that every day. So what they do, they get used to us moving them. So they get, they just get used to it. They come to the corner, they wait to move more feed. Of course, they're not, there's more forage in there for them. But what we do, we have a herd of feed cows that come behind, and they'll clean that up. They're usually a paddock behind, but just sort of for the day of the show, I had them moved, and this sort of works good for moving them for this show. So what Don is doing now, we have a water line running along this side of the laneway, running completely to the back of the farm. And there's quick couplers there. She's just emptied the water tank. She's going to plug it into the quick coupler, move the tank, and it's a high flow valve, and it flows really quick. You'll see that on one of the stations you'll see. And they move to the next paddock, and they got their, well, usually they have their heads down grazing, but they think you guys look pretty odd out there. So that's as easy as it is. You'll see our system. You'll see in your packages, we have a layout of the farm. We have about 40 paddocks at the back here, all subdivided, and we open a gate, we let them through the next paddock, and the cows come in behind and clean the rest up. We have a portable mineral feeder. You see there with a wheelbarrow wheel on it. We have the Master Feeds blueprint mineral in there with garlic for fly control. And if you get close enough to the steers, you can see if it's repelling the flies or not. They're just coming out. So we move that along with the cattle. I work good in questions. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, Joe?
How old are these steers?
How old? These steers are yearling steers.
Last year's kid.
Yeah, they're born April, May, June of last year.
And do you smell the garlic?
Can I smell the garlic?
How much is in the salt or whatever?
I don't know the exact formula. You can quiz Paul on it, but you can't physically smell it. I can smell it in the mineral, but I can't smell it off them now, no. One thing I did this year, people asked me about, are you wanting to hear me more? Okay, sorry. People ask about if I reseed my pastures this year. Got the use of a no-till drill, and we no-tilled in all the acres we have here with a no-till mix, and it's been working great. We've had a wet spring, so it's working great. Great, the no-till mix. When you're into the pastures, have a look and see if you can see some of that coming in. So, we're happy with the no-till and get the seed soil contact.
How long have the fields been in, Ted?
The fields, the seeded down, the longest field is in front of the house there where you park. That's been likely 22 years, and the rest are anywhere from 15 to 22 years old, all the stand is. And I think the key is management. You manage the grass, and it's going to look after you, and you don't need to turn that sod over again. You can see as you pass on that first field, I'm trialing some cover crops. If anybody wants to look at them later, you'll see some cover crops in there. Kale, turnip, rape, radish, annual ryegrass, biennial ryegrass, some chicory. So lots of neat stuff in that field. You just see a new field coming up, and lots of stuff. By all means, talk to me in the summertime or later summer and see what it's doing, but it's going to be interesting to see what that does for sure. Any other questions?
Is this the first time over or the second time?
This is the third time over. We started April 23rd grazing, and we moved them twice a day for the first 25 days. We have some challenged paddocks a couple paddocks ago where we got a lot of rain there in May, but it's coming back, so I have no worries with it. But get out there early. I don't think my pastures are showing any hurt for getting out there because That's the time of year it's growing, so let them cattle grow on that grass.
Keep your stakes in the same place all year?
Yeah, I pretty well keep them there. I have them set up there. There's another system you can do to move the fence all the time, but we haven't figured out where we want to keep them, and we just leave them there, yeah. Yeah.
When do you normally start grazing?
Usually it's from the 25th of May till May 2nd. So yeah, I get out there really early. People expect me to be out there early, so I usually just go out with my light cattle. So my yearlings I'll go out with, and the cows I'll sort of wait till they're done calving, or I won't use them until I have lots of grass for them. Any more questions? So I got one question, then I'll come to yours. Do I clip? I trialed it a couple, maybe 5 years ago just to see, but you know, it takes some time clipping after every, you know, there's about 1.5 to 2 acres in each paddock. So it's just a time-consuming thing. Makes it look pretty, but I'm not sure of the extra value I got out of it, and it gets to be a time thing and a diesel thing, so I didn't carry it on. Maybe if I retire, I'll do it. I don't know. I'm not retiring though.
Is this the first year for garlic?
This is the first year. They're launching the product tonight here. So this is the first time you're going to see it here. Yeah, they've used it. I was talking to a guy from Australia, and just have amazing results in Australia, and they have heaps of flies there. So I really got reinsured by talking to Damien from Australia on the product. So we're tickled pink to have it here and be using it. Any more? Yeah.
What more mix do you add in your paddock?
It's a secret. No, it's not. No, we also sell forage seed, and the main mix. What I seeded down to add to this was birchfoot trefoil, ladino clover, a softleaf tall fescue, perennial ryegrass, orchard grass, and festilolium. So a mix of 6 different mixes. What I put into this and my existing pasture is relatively the same, and that's what stayed throughout the year. So that's what I like putting back in, and I'm trialing some new stuff that's come out. So I'm really excited to see what it's going to do. Any more questions?
Here, Tim. What do you do with your manure out of the barnyard?
So my manure in the barnyard was spread in that paddock, then the next paddock, and the paddock out front. So I just spread it in the spring. I get somebody in and they spread it, and it goes back in the pasture in the spring. My winter manure. And then the rest of the season gets manured by these guys out here.
What drill did you use to drill in that mix?
It was an Aitchison drill, came from the U.S., which originally came from New Zealand. So I'd like to see if there's interest in anybody looking to rent a drill. We're possibly looking at that, but I'd like a guy to run it too. So anybody interested in buying one and going and doing custom seeding, I think there's a huge demand for it. So I got tons of business for you. Because it's working good. Whatever I've seen, you see them cover crops coming up, it was seeded by that. And you'll see the, the strips of, if you look down in the grooves, you'll see that new seeding coming. So I'm looking forward to see what it does, especially why we take the top off now as they've come around, and it should open up the stand so that the new stuff could come up through. So I'm excited that third, fourth round to see the new seeds coming up with the existing stand. I haven't been fertilizing. I do tissue tests and forage tests, and we watch it likely every Ruth night. She's doing it, so this is our second. We're sort of referencing back to what it was before, so we see if we aren't losing nutrients or what's happening with it. So you always have to be benchmarking where you are, where you're going, and what it's doing for you. Any more?
Good.
Yep.
Now you're pasturing the new seeding.
What was that again, Ralph?
And now you're pasturing the new seeding.
Oh, the new seeding back near the hay shed. I'll pasture it likely in a month. Depends on the growth. So I would say July to, or 1st of July to mid-July, depends on conditions. When we were in New Zealand, I seen lots of people grazing pure chicory. It was just amazing the amount of meat it was putting on animals to do pure chicory. I sort of, we don't grass finish, well, we grass finish some here, but you know, looking at that as a possibility of grazing pure chicory on there certainly puts lots of meat on livestock. You're looking at grass finishing.
Is that the same chicory as our wheat?
The depth of your soil horizon, like they're saying that proper grazing you'll grow deeper topsoil.
Yeah, the question is on the root depth, right? Yeah, so the root depth basically simulates the top growth. So as your top growth goes down, so does your roots go down. So if you have a big top growth, you'll have lots of roots. And just like going into the winter time, you want to have lots of roots going into the winter because that's what's going to start your plant in the spring. In the summertime, photosynthesis grows your plants, not as much the roots. So whatever you manage the one fall dictates how soon you can start the next spring. And the chicory, the question on the chicory, was it the same as our native chicory? No, this is a bred just for grazing. The first year it doesn't bolt, and bolt goes out and makes that blue flower. This is more of a forage type. Looks like almost a big dandelion or romaine lettuce leaf to it. So it's very interesting, but very palatable to them. But works great. We're trying for sure.
What's your gain?
My gain on stocker steers on good. My last gain on good stock beef stocker steers, and I'm not saying these aren't good. I'm just saying because genetics makes a huge difference, and the Wagyu genetics they aren't meant for high gain on cattle. The cattle I had the best gain on was Black Angus steers about 8 years ago. And we gained 2.46 pounds a day over 150 days. That's on straight grass. So that's pretty amazing on straight grass for 2.2 or 2.46. But now I run my yearling steers and heifers. You see the heifers out front, the steers are back here. And then I'm mainly a cow. We have 52 beef cows and their calves, so I mainly run them now. Okay, we'll start the tractors and we'll get you going, get on your tractors, and we'll get going around to the stations.